All right, everybody, we're about to go live. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Mr. Bianca, representatives now in session. Please let the House come to order. Please stand as related in prayer as I come from Please stand as Mississippi House of Representatives is now in session. Please let the House come to order. Please stand as related in prayer today by the gentleman from Hines. Remain standing there for the pledge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May we bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today with bowed heads and humble hearts to say thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for the opportunity to come to work today and do the people's business. But Lord, I'm asking you for something special right now. I'm asking you to look and take care of each and every one of these individuals that are in this room today. Bless their families, bless their friends, bless their children, bless their soul. Give each and every one in this room and those that are watching online the strength and courage to go on. Because we know, Lord, that there are some individuals in this world, in this building, in this city that are tired and they need uplift. And I'm asking you, Lord, uplift us all. We need it. We understand what we're put on this earth for and what we need to do. And again, I ask you to give us the strength and courage to do so. And as I close, dear God, please look out for those individuals that are hungry. Look out for those individuals who are in hospital beds, on their deathbed, and those that have passed away. Grant them entrance into your kingdom.
To the flag of the United States of America.
In Jesus' name.
And to the republic
Amen.
which it stands, one nation,
Attention, salute, pledge.
indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
United States of America.
Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Everyone voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We have the reading of the journal. Gentleman from Rankin moves we dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Board of Select Committees.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Board of Standing
We
Committees.
have reports on the calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Introductions of bills and constitutional amendments. Gentleman from Mayor and Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with reading of the introduction.
Is there objection? Hearing none, we will do that. Resolution, petitions, memorials, and other papers.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This time we'll have introductions of guests and visitors. It is my privilege today to introduce our doctor of the day, Dr. Robert Riddell, is over here, specialty in dermatology. He's the chairman of the Department of Pathology at UMMC. Please make him feel welcome. Thank you, doctor, for your service to us today.
First, I would like to welcome
Lady from Forest, Ms. McGee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have several guests seated in the South Gallery. First, I would like to welcome Chad Newell, who is the president of the Area Development Partnership, representing the Pine Belt and Hattiesburg, our fantastic economic development team. They are top notch. I put them against anybody, anywhere. Seated with Congressman Greg Harper. Would y'all please help me make them welcome? I also have three ladies from the University of Mississippi Medical Center. They're genetic counselors, celebrating Genetic Counselor Awareness Day. It's Emily Booth, Madison Elise Land, and Laura Henson. We appreciate what all of you do, and welcome to the Capitol today. And Mr. Speaker, while I have the mic, may I please ask for unanimous consent to change my vote on yesterday's general calendar number 8, Senate Bill 2346.
Okay. So the lady wants to
I'm
change her
sorry,
vote.
from a yes to a no.
The objection.
Why do they give us this?
All right. Change the lady's vote.
We are honored today to have
Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Felcher.
Mr. Speaker, introduction, please.
Yes, sir.
We are honored today to have some special guests from the Boys and Girls Club. We have the 22-23 Mississippi State Youth of the Year, Liari Sims. We have the Boys and Girls Club Unit of the Year winner, Jerrian Jackson. And we have the Boys and Girls Club Gulf Coast Club member, Andreas Anderson. Boys and Girls Club Central Mississippi Club member, Cameron Williams. And Boys and Girls Club Central Mississippi Club member, Kiana Lewis. We also have with us from the Gulf Coast our CEO of Boys and Girls Club, Kiva Scott, and her Director of Development, Morgan Boglin. Let's give them a warm welcome, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction, please. All the way from Starkville, Mississippi, so you can get your cowbells out, guys.
A lady from Madison, Ms. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction, please. All the way from Starkville, Mississippi, so you can get your cowbells out now, guys. And Preston McRae, a student at Mississippi State University. She's originally from Meridian, Mississippi. She's a political science major, and she is something to behold. We thank you for being here today, Ann, and I'm excited about you spending some time with us.
Jump from Lauderdale, Mr. Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to piggyback off the Boys and Girls Club this morning. We have a very distinguished representative with the coastal delegation from the Boys and Girls Club. My roommate, Representative Jeremy Anderson's mother, is sitting in the North Gallery. I'd like for you all to make her welcome.
All right, I don't see any further introductions at this time.
We do have one special guest we recognize who has not yet arrived. So we'll go to the calendar in the meantime. Down to page 2.
We do have one special guest to be recognized, but they have not yet arrived, so we will go to the calendar in the meantime. I'm down to page 2, concurrence, non-concurrence calendar. Any chairman have an item here? Gentleman from the Neshoba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 10, House Bill 1225,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 10, House Bill 1225 on the concurrence calendar and move that we do concur.
Okay, you're recognized to explain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, if you recall earlier in the session, we brought forward all the code sections on the no call that is housed at the Public Service Commission. This bill moves at the request of the Public Service Commission and at the acceptance of the Attorney General's office, all of those responsibilities and duties to the Attorney General's office beginning July 1st, 2023, with it being housed at the Attorney General's office. It would give a one-place stop for no calls to be accepted, cases reviewed, prosecuted, and hopefully convicted as we move forward. But the bill just simply moves the no-call division at the request of the Public Service Commission to the Attorney General's office, and that's an explanation of the bill.
Questions? I don't see any. Open machine, Madam Clerk. The question occurs on the motion to concur. House Bill 1225. In favor of the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Good one voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. I vote 113 yeas and 3 nays. The motion to concur passes. Gentleman from Knoxville, Mr. Micken.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On item number 5, House Bill 799, I'd like to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Any other chairman have an item? Concurrence, non-concurrence calendar. All right, I don't see anybody. Oh, excuse me, gentleman from Marshall, Mr. Kincaid, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, I overlooked you there.
Item number 12, House Bill 517. We move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Any other item on the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar? Jump from Hines, Mr. Bell.
Interjection, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
In the South Gallery, I want to
Hey, Chris, that's more.
introduce my good friend, Mr. Otha Kane.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Jump from Octavia Hall, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a group of MSU student associations, it's the Cowbells at the Capitol up in the South Gallery. If they'd stand up and wave and let's welcome them. And a couple of them were my students for this past semester, so welcome to the Capitol, guys. Mr. Speaker, I also need to call a rules meeting right now.
Lady from Hines, Ms. Summers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have a special group in the House on the north side. They hail all the way from Loyola University, Chicago School of Law Health Justice Project. They include Professor Kate Mitchell, students Rabaya, Kaleshi, Anisha, Simone, Nicola, Andre, Karen, Nicholas, Yasmin, Andrew, AmeriCorps Vistas, Dee, and Meredith, and they're with my good friend Jamie Raspberry. Please welcome them to Jackson, Mississippi, to the Mississippi State Capitol.
Motion reconsider calendar. Chairman,
All right, I don't see anybody else on the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar. Moving on. Motion to reconsider calendar. Any chairman have an item here? Jump from Simpson, Mr. Wallace.
Reconsider item 4, Senate Bill 2358. Move to table the motion.
Those opposed have 5 minutes. Jump from Washington. Mr. Bailey wishes to speak.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hate coming to you. Yesterday, I went and talked to the chairman. Man to man. Try to get him to understand, the real problem with this bill. But the chairman got this new chairman fever, and he feels that he got to win. And it ain't about winning. We're down here about doing something good to help our people. I remember, and Mr. Chairman, you don't know me. I remember when I was a kid coming up, my brother used to get in a lot of fights, and I had to get in a fight to help him out. And invariably, I got beat up a lot of times. And every time I swore that I wouldn't take up for him and fight for him again, he'll get in another fight, and here I go again. And I got beat real bad. But it didn't stop me from standing up and helping and doing something for people who can't help themselves. Now, the poor folks and the old folks and the veterans, they can't help themselves in this situation. But we think we're doing all right. We're big chairmen and all of that. We think we're doing all right. But there's some good in electricity, and there's some bad in electricity. The good will keep the lights on, but if you use it the wrong way, it will kill you. And the same thing with power here. You can use power here to do good and help people, or you can use your power here to hurt people. It is not our job here to hurt people. And it's not our job to make it difficult for people to vote and make criminal out of people. This is a criminal factory. We just do everything to crank up and make criminals out of everybody that comes along in this state who ain't got the money and the name and the recognition to fight for themselves. So I'm fighting for people. I ain't fighting for black people. I'm fighting for people, the rights of people to exercise their right here in this democracy. That's what I'm fighting for. I want to save a few minutes for my chairman here to come up and say a few words. But thank you. Let's keep this. Let's vote no against the motion to table.
Gentleman from Adams wishes to speak. He'd recognize.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a whole lot different to say, just to remind you again that we're criminal. I mean, you represent rural areas where people live, places where if they miss a mail run or something, they want to get their ballot in, they'll call a friend and take mine, pick it up for me and take it down there. They can't do that now. If they do it, they'll be charged with a crime. And I don't think any of us want to do that. I think we'll go back to what we said before. This is a bill that needs some work. And so they need to take some time to work on it. We should not be passing something like this to go to the governor and then lock into law something that's just going to harm the people who we serve. And I don't think that's what we want to do. I think the suggestion by the member of the committee from Pearl River that said, look, let's take some time to work on it, address some of the issues that we're talking about, and it'll provide some safeguards. That's not what's happening. And so there's no impending problem that you got to address immediately. So I would suggest that we don't table a motion to reconsider and think about giving the gentleman a chance to go back to the chairman of the Senate and work on this thing, and then we can look at it again next year. Thank you.
All right, I don't see anyone else wishing to speak. The question occurs now on the motion to table. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Ayes have. Roll call is demanded. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. In favor of the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Everyone voted. Everyone voted. Closed machine, Madam Clerk. A vote of 72 yeas, 42 nays. A motion to table passes. Any other chairman have an item on the motion to reconsider? Gentleman from Itawamba, Mr. Boyd.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider item number 7, Senate Bill 2538.
Item number 7, 2538. Motion is to reconsider the vote whereby the House laid the bill on the table. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Bill is back before the House.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a procedural maneuver here that's in my 20 years, first time we've ever had to do this. So thank you for your patience as we figured this out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a procedural maneuver here that 20 years, first time we've ever had to do this. So thank you for your patience as we figured this out. This bill was motion to lay it on the table was made yesterday. It was laid on the table. The motion that was just made was to reconsider that vote. So what is before the House now is the motion to lay it on the table. A gentleman wishes to withdraw that motion to lay it on the table. He would like to go back to the bill. So the motion before the chamber right now is whether or not to lay the bill on the table or not. That is the motion. And those opposed have 5 minutes. It's a motion to table. Any opposed?
I have been told.
Jim from Washington. Yes, sir. Turn him on, please.
I have been told ever since I've been here.
Sir.
I have been told, and my understanding of the rules, when you make a motion laid on the table, and in this process, in this juncture, that bill is dead.
That was my understanding as well, gentlemen, and that's what I said yesterday. But in consultation with legal counsel, that vote can be reconsidered.
Well, I think legal counsel's wrong. I think that, you know, I want to raise an objection and appeal on that ruling because I think they're wrong. Otherwise, we've been all going and walking in the blind all these years, thinking one thing, and now you're going to change the rule.
Well, as I said, gentlemen, this is the first time in my 20 years up here that this has happened. But I
In 30 years, I have never seen it happen like this, Mr. Speaker, and something wrong here.
Gentlemen, my understanding was the same as yours. And I went to legal counsel yesterday and discussed this, and this is the advice that the gentleman who's been here longer than you and me both has advised.
Then we just need to throw the whole rule book away because
No, it's not.
if we're trying to apply by the rules and then
No, sir. No,
some
sir.
council come and tell us something
Not a rule.
different,
It's a procedural maneuver. And you can reconsider the vote by which anything passes. And so what he has just asked for a second ago was to reconsider the vote by which it was laid on the table. And we did. I put it to a vote, and the House voted to reconsider that vote. So what you're reconsidering now is whether we're going to lay it on the table or not. Y'all with me? So if the motion to lay it on the table passes, it goes back on the table. If it fails, the bill is back before the House. I hope everyone is clear on that. I did consult with legal counsel on this because my understanding was the same as the gentleman from Washington. I'm with you, sir. I agree with you. But counsel tells me that this is a proper procedural move. So, you can't speak. Only those opposed to the motion, I guess you're opposed to the motion to table. Then you are allowed to speak. Hang on, sir. Hang on. Hang on.
Anything subject to vote.
Please maintain order. Please maintain order. Jim from Hines, you have a question?
Mr. Speaker, would it be too inconvenient for us to get the quote on that particular interpretation from the lawyer?
Well, gentlemen,
in other words, could you read that?
I just had a conversation with him, and that's what he tells me. The gentleman's been here since 1977. He knows the rules better than all of us combined. I'm telling you what the man told me. Y'all want me to bring him up here and have him tell it to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think so. All right. We're going to move on and let the gentleman speak on the motion to table, against the motion to table.
I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry that I'm causing this confusion. I didn't mean to. I meant when I asked to lay it on the table for it to be laid on the table subject to call. That's my fault. Everybody learn a lesson from what Randy did wrong. I think this is a good bill. It does not stop anybody from doing anything that they're going to do today. I mean, if they were going to handle a situation on on a disaster, this bill will not stop them from doing what they've always done, and MEMA will supply everything they need, just like they always have. You got to opt in to be able to use these prices on these new contracts that they're wanting to get. One of the things that I have learned is that if you get contracts not in the minute of distress after a disaster, you can save 10 to 15% on the price or the cost of what you contract. This bill has been brought to us by MEMA and the supervisors of your counties, according to the association. I haven't talked to all the counties, but according to the Supervisor Association, they back this bill, and so does DFA, which will be administered in the contract. The contracts will give everybody a quicker response that uses these contracts. You can do an emergency contract, but still you have to start bidding for after that 30 days, and it sometimes takes time to get people out there doing the work, but these people that sign these contracts will be willing to go to work immediately. So your constituents will get better service. No money will be passed. No money will be passed unless the contract is activated. And that's only activated at a time of a disaster.
Please maintain order. Thank you.
The amendment yesterday to give consideration to Mississippi contractors was voted down. I'm going to give you my word that won't be in the any kind of an agreement with the Senate. We'll bring it back. And above all, we have a reverse repealer in this. It's going to conference. It's not going to go directly to the governor from here. So I appreciate, and I'll answer any questions that people have at the appropriate time on the bill. I mean, I'm trying to shoot straight with you. I'm trying to tell you what I believe is the best. I know there's some other people that have difference of opinion, but I believe this will do good for counties that don't already have these contracts in place. Those people who are on the coast that have contracts like this with your county, it will not bother them. They will be able to do what they want to do the way they want to do it. They won't opt in. So, Mr. Speaker.
Anyone else wish to speak against the motion to table? All right. What lies before the House is a motion to lay this bill on the table. If you favor that motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. Noes have it. Noes have it. Motion fails. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. The motion to table failed. That means we're back on the bill. I apologize.
Thank y'all. And if you have any questions, like I say, I'll be willing to answer any questions.
You got anything further? All right. You got to yield for any questions? He doesn't yield for any questions. All right. Question occurs on, yes, ma'am. You wish to speak? Okay. Lady from Pearl River wishes to speak.
County's want it. Right, look, it's an opt-in thing, man. It's an opt-in thing. Look.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm asking today that we vote against this because this is a bill, it's very good in premise, and I understand what the gentleman is saying, but coming from hurricane territory, this is a very complex bill, and I just want to make sure that our local people are going to be able to get the jobs and that the money stays in Mississippi. There will be a lot of cities and municipalities who opt into this just because it's easier for them and our local people won't get the work. I would like to study a lot of other states. I would like to look at this in more detail because this is a lot of money affecting our districts. And I just think that Mississippi needs to come first. We need to put our people first. We need to really study this, something in this magnitude before we go forward. So I'm asking you to vote no against this bill. Thank you.
Gentleman Clark, Mr. Smith, you wish to speak?
Mr. Byrd, you wish to speak?
I'm sorry. Turn him on, please.
Introduction out of order.
Okay. Gentleman Forrest, Mr. Byrd, do you wish to speak?
I like to speak in favor of this bill. Let me tell you how this is built. When Katrina hit fell, Mississippi, I was street struck.
I'd like to speak in favor of this bill. Let me tell you how this can help. When Katrina hit Petal, Mississippi, I was a street director. We had trees across most of our roads. The biggest thing we had was a rubber tire hole. It took 5 days to get things opened up where we get an ambulance or a fire truck through. This pre-needs disaster contract will have boots on the ground very quickly. It's important to our citizens for public safety. It has a reverse repealer. It's going to conference anyway. The 10% add-on has been removed. So let's keep it alive. Let's work through the process and see if we can't come up with a good product. I ask you to support it.
Jump from Jackson, Mr. Busby.
I'm really not sure how this got so dang. I don't know how many of you have had to deal with the chaos of a hurricane, but in chaos.
I'm really not sure how this got so dang confused. I don't know how many of you have had to deal with the chaos of a hurricane, but in chaos, contractors see profit. Giving them the ability to negotiate terms for these services prior to that chaos makes all the sense in the world. And to have those forces at ready when needed. Gentlemen, I think you got a good bill. I hope the body will support it.
Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Stamps.
I appreciate you bringing the deal up. I come up here to talk about the local level.
I'm gonna get closer to this thing this time so y'all can hear me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair, I appreciate you for bringing this bill up. I'm coming up here today to talk about at a local level, as a former city council person, when emergencies happen, mayors can call an emergency for 7 days. And they can issue contracts to people to solve problems immediately without going to city councils. And so this bill will make it so that cities can in turn negotiate things early to save money. Now, hopefully we can get that 10-point add-on added back to it in conference, because that keeps the money in our local area, in our local community. So I would encourage you to vote for the bill so that we can keep working through the process and hopefully get a better product when it comes back on the reverse repeal.
Jump from Marion, Mr. Morgan.
I'm for it. When they said yay yesterday, I'm on it.
I think there's been a lot of misconception about this bill the way it's started. Y'all will know that most of us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think there's been a lot of misconception about this bill and the way it started. As y'all well know, most of us, the board of supervisors, city municipalities, doesn't have the equipment to go in after a tornado, hurricane, disaster. And just like the man from the coast said just a while ago, if you have never seen one and been involved in it, it's a mess to clean up, and it takes days to do it. We have companies come from New York to the coast to clean up. And whenever you got companies coming like that, that's what they do for a living. And the man hit the note right a while ago about boots on the ground. The power companies have already staging areas set up to where they will meet all different power companies and multiply and come together to work in an emergency situation. All this is getting somebody contacted to where they can come in, and if they have a disaster and they've got the equipment to do it, you've got a contract with them. You ain't got to worry about calling Tom, Dick, and Harry to come down here with a power saw and try to get things started going in a pickup truck. They have the equipment to do it with. Y'all hit me with this thing. It's got a good deal.
I don't see anyone else wishing to speak. Do you wish to close? No. He moves final passage. All right, open machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on Senate Bill 2538. In favor of the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Everyone voted. Close machine, Madam Clerk. 101 yeas, 7 nays. Bill passed. Gentleman Clark, Mr. Smith for an introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the South Carolina, we have with us today Mr. Billy Blackover and Seattle and Mr. Martin Estel. Dad owns a dealership in Ford dealership in Meridian. Thank you.
Gentleman from Covington, Mr. Stanford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Go to motion to consider calendar item number 8, Senate Bill 2100, and move to table.
Take it, man.
Motion is to table item 8, 2100. Those opposed have 5 minutes. Any opposed? I don't see any. In favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Jim from Rankin, Mr. Weathersby.
Mr. Speaker, introduction out of order.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, today I have one of my friends and a former member of this House, Mr. Lonnie Johnson, visiting with us, and he has friends in the balcony, Dr. Tom Wallace and Randy Morris from Greenville, South Carolina. Let's make them welcome.
Jim Forrest, Mr. Watson.
Mr. Speaker, for an introduction out of order, please.
Yes, sir.
I would like to introduce and ask the House to welcome in the South Gallery a good friend of mine, Mr. Anthony Harris from Pearl River Valley Electric Power.
Jim from Lamar, Mr. McCarty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm on the motion to reconsider calendar. I'd like to go to item 5, Senate Bill 2485, and withdraw my motion to reconsider.
All right, item number, any other item on the motion to reconsider calendar? Any other chairman have an item on the motion to reconsider calendar? All right, I don't see any. I'm informed that the rules calendar has been completed. Is that correct? We have the JSU football team on here, but we did that yesterday, so I think that needs to be removed from the calendar. I don't see the chairman. That may still be in their rules meeting. Brings us to the appropriations calendar.
Yep.
Before you is the appropriations calendar.
Chairman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies of the House, before you is the appropriations calendar. And before we go into it, I'd like to make some remarks pertaining to this calendar. This is the appropriations for agencies. In each one of these bills, they're at LBR with reverse repealers. I repeat, it's LBR with reverse repealers, except for about, I will call them out here in just a minute. I will be setting aside those bills that are not at LBR, and we'll handle each one and explain why. Also, we have some about 9 bills dealing with the reappropriate of ARPA monies on different agencies or different projects that have been ongoing. And that's basically the format with which I would like to address this group of bills. Also, I'm not above taking them up in a block vote if there's a motion to do so or not do so.
Is there a motion to take them? Why don't you tell us which ones you want to set aside? John?
Okay, well, I was going to go down through that. Okay, setting aside will be item number 1, Senate Bill 3021. Item number 6, Senate Bill 3032. Item number 9, Senate Bill 3035. Item number 11, Senate Bill 3038. Number 12, Senate Bill 3039. Number 17, Senate Bill 3000.